What have we accomplished? Well, first thing, we've been able to rebrand our church. Our fellowship rebranded from the Fellowship of Grace Brethren Churches to Charis Fellowship. Looking the next 20 years out, how can we brand ourselves as a church? It doesn't change our beliefs, but just changes our name. How can we brand ourselves to be more effective in the next 20 years? So we looked at that as a church, that our fellowship is taking this along. Where are we going? And we landed on Thrive Church, because you say, come with me to thrive. Come with me to thrive, a church that will change you, help you, grow you, meet you where you're at, imperfect people being changed by God. Come to Thrive Church. And we have Thrive Kids, we have Thrive Students, we have Thrive Groups. It all describes the picture that we want people to grow forward in their personal relationship with God. We want people to grow in biblical community with other believers. We want people to have a purpose greater than themselves. When those three things happen, you will thrive. You'll be living today to thrive tomorrow. So we worked on that rebrand. We went out, we visited other churches, we scoped out to see what they're doing. We stole their best ideas. We left the bad ones behind. And we worked on really trying to update and take what we're doing and to be able to build a system and a structure that will help us move forward into the future. We've mapped out where our congregation lives. As you leave, the map's back up on the wall. There's little yellow pins. You can see where our congregation lives. If you didn't get a pin on that map yet, go ahead and put a pin on the map. They're on the sides of the map. You can pin where you're at. It helps us see where is our congregation coming from. Because we at Thrive Church believe we want to have spiritual DNA that spreads. We want to have spiritual DNA that spreads. We want to send out and reach more people and having a spiritual DNA that spreads. And in doing that, we say, listen, we think a campus model where we take what we do here and we replicate it, we reproduce it, we start another campus, we start another church that's going to be reaching people that don't come here, that aren't attending at 661 North Newberry, but that would attend at another campus in another community that we're reaching and targeting. So we've mapped out where our congregation is from, and we've identified a possible location of what we think the area would work if we would set something up and we would see it go. Number 3, we're growing and we're excited to keep growing. We're growing and we're excited to keep growing. Felt like yesterday. Sunday, January 1st, we had 8 babies in the nursery. Everybody said, wow, 8 babies in the nursery. It's like, man, we could have 10. And by the way, there's a total of 12 coming in the future. Like, there's we're growing numerically. We're growing with babies. We're growing with elementary, with teenagers, with young adults, with middle age, with older people. We're growing across the board. We're excited about it. And as we grow, we have to have a plan that will take us where we need to go. So what Pastor BJ is going to explain in the vision meeting is how we're going to develop, and we've developed the system already, to be a sustainable and scalable model for a growing and healthy church. What got us here won't get us there. We recognize it. What got our church to this point is good, but as we grow, we have to reevaluate, right? As you added a 3rd kid, a 4th kid to your family, some people had to buy new cars. You didn't have enough seat belts to be able to all go somewhere. You had to change up your house layout. You had to double bunk kids in some rooms. You had to, what are we doing? Where are we going? How are we making this growth attainable? And how are we making it scalable? Those are important words, and we have a plan that we want to be able to share with you. Our next steps as we dream of a campus. Part 1, we visited other churches. I talked a little bit about this, that part of this year, we want to visit churches that are doing what we dream of. We want to visit churches that are doing what we dream of and to be able to talk to them and see what their process is and how they're doing it and how we can maybe take some of those ideas and see what fits for us at our church. Part 2, we want to build out our detailed plans. We're going to be able to land on exactly where, exactly how, exactly when. It's scary to put those names and numbers in front of things, but we've got to land on how are we going to accomplish it. And as a church, let's start chipping away at this process and let's land with details. We've had a vision. 2023 will be a time that we get details to our vision, and we're going to talk about how that happens. Next, we want to develop and equip our church to accomplish the vision. That's you guys with your what? You with me? Doing, praying, giving. We're calling people together, say, hey, be a part of this. Be a part of this. Now, it wasn't quite a year ago, but I don't want to ask because I'm scared who's going to say I stopped doing that. But I want to call you to renew the 451 challenge. I want to call you to renew the 451 challenge. We ask our church to set their alarms for 451. And when your phone buzzes, when your Alexa goes off, when you're, whatever it is that you're using, your calendar that you're writing the schedule on with your paper and a notebook, right? Whatever system you use at 451, to stop and pause and pray, because in York County, the last census said there's 451,000 people in York. There's 451,000 people in York, and over half of that population identified when surveyed in the census that they have no religious affiliation. We call them nuns, N-O-N-E, none, no religious affiliation. Over half of the county that we live in, half of the neighborhood that you drive past when you go home, half of the families going to your kids' school, half of the kids on the sports team, over half of our county have no religious affiliation. So let me ask this, does York County need another Thrive? We could be praying at 451, God, we're praying for people and resources that we haven't met yet to reach out in this vision you've given us to expand and spread our spiritual DNA. And when your phone goes off, whoever you're with, you can say, hey, I just got to stop and pray for my church. Did you know there's 451,000 people in York and over half don't go to church? And with your kids, you stop and say, God, grow this church. Give us the people and resources that we need. Give us the unity of heart. Help us to have hands on, hands together, hands open. Help us to be moving forward and to know, how am I a part of the story that's being told?